We are live.
We are live.
We are live. Some of our feet are not in the shot. We are live. Ben is sitting into my rib cage in order to be in the shot. Just a couple of bros. We have fun. We have fun. So welcome back to another edition of what I've begun calling at this very moment, Living Room Children's Sermons.
With the cat.
With children and animals. So, welcome. It's good to have you here. We're not quite up to Saturday Night Live watching numbers yet, or Dan TDM, or anybody like that. If you think I can see that,
no, I was just trying to show you guys.
Away, I got nothing.
Showing you the visual.
So yes. So good morning, and we are on the third Sunday of Easter. The third Sunday of Easter, not the first. The first one is actually Easter. The second one is actually was last week, and this is the third Sunday. So hello to the Crow family, hello to the Presnell family, the Knight family. You might want to let him go. He might not be happy with this right now. As more of you hopefully come pouring in, we'll try to say hello to everybody. We'll try to give shout outs, as the kids say. And we may be able to do that. We may not, depending if I'm deep in thought. The good thing is, hey there, Barb, Joanna, good to see you, with maybe Lizzie and Brenda as well. Know that you were in similar shoes as these children, because each week when I start off, if the kids are in the video with me, they say, or sometimes the producer asks me, even if it's just by myself, hey, what are you going to do during the video? And I don't tell them. So if you're wondering what's going to happen today, you are not alone, because these two and the producer on the other side of the camera also don't know what's going to happen today.
I think we should try to mention the producer as much as possible this time.
Well, yeah, no, the producer loves being mentioned. The producer gets royalty checks every time she gets mentioned. Hi, Jenna. Hey there, Owen and Ella. We're going to try to keep this set up in this frame for as long as possible, because I might not be able to breathe by the end, because Ben is cutting off half of my oxygen supply by the way he has to sit. It's not his fault. It's just by the way he has to sit. So, what I'm going to show as my prop today is what I'm going to try to tie into the story. First, I'll go over a little bit of the gospel story today, from the Gospel of St. Luke. And then I will show you the prop, and Ben can sit up. He'll be in the shot. Thank you, producer.
Just say it.
So here's the Bible story is the road to Emmaus. So there are two of Jesus' disciples, two of his followers, and it's still on that first Easter Sunday, I believe. It's either the first Easter Sunday or it's the second week. I'm pretty sure it's the first one. And they have left Jerusalem. They have left where the disciples were, and they're making their way to a village called Emmaus, and it's about 7 miles away. And while they're walking to Emmaus, they are talking about Jesus. Yeah, can you give that visual again? In case anybody didn't know, when I said the word walking, in case no one knew what I meant, Ben is going to do, it's a short walk. It's not the scale on his hand. So put that out for 7 miles. They're walking and they're talking about Jesus. And really what they're wanting is for Jesus to be there with them. So here are the props that I have. And I realize I'm opening myself up to all kinds of comments by showing these, because the people in this room might not agree with my assessment. So I don't know about most of your families, but during this time, we've had the luxury, I would say, the blessing to be able to spend family time together, and part of that family time is done playing board games. And so I have some of the board games and some card games. Not strictly board games, but board games, card games, family games,
Games for the family.
games for
Games
families,
of cards, maybe.
games of chance. There's no official
Games of
gambling.
board?
Games of board. There's no official gambling because we don't really win anything.
We can't cover that.
Yes. So, and that wouldn't be endorsed. So I'm going to show some of the board games, card games, games of chance that we have. We like to play. One of these is called Snake Oil. Snake Oil is a fun game. Just we're not sponsored by any of these companies. We're not getting paid that I'm aware of to endorse these products, but these are the ones that we enjoy. So Snake Oil is a fun game. Look it up if you've never heard of it. It's kind of like Apples to Apples in a way, but you get to try to sell people stuff. Speaking of Apples to Apples, we also
Speaking
have
of apples to
a
apples.
segue. Am I having a segue right now?
Yes,
Because
I
I
would
got
like.
here really smoothly. And with a lot of balance. All right, so we have Apples to Apples Junior because we try to protect the innocence of our children in this
Well, I was
household.
also like 7.
Yeah, you were even way smaller.
Yeah.
Even way
Apples
smaller.
to Apples Junior is still 9 plus.
Yeah, well, they don't, I guess junior is defined as 9. Another game that we have not really been able to play as much during this quarantine time are a couple of games we have that involve a lot more like smacking hands and touching.
Light violence.
One of those is Throw Burrito. One of the best things about this game, I'm going to say, are you going to second? Yeah. The children go immediately for the burritos. They're squishy. They're like,
Those squishies.
oh, squishies, that's what they were called. Okay, they didn't get real creative with the names of those. So they're little squishy burritos. The burritos have to be squishy because you toss them at other people, sometimes hitting them in the, you can hold on to the burrito, sometimes hitting them in the face or the eyeball. Another one of the fun ones we haven't played in a while because it involves a lot of touch smacking is a card game called Taco, Cat, Goat, Cheese, Pizza. And the smacking has nothing to do with the game. It's just people get angry when they're playing it. No, it's not true. I thought that's what he would said. I was just trying to riff.
It's a very anti-quarantine
It's
game.
very anti-quarantine. There's a lot of smile.
No.
Smile, Owens family. Smile to nope. That's not what that note means.
No, we're
From the
supposed to
producer.
smile when you're watching.
Okay. Hi, Owens family. Hi, Tinnies. Hi, Carol. Debbie. Good to see you here. Taco, Cat, Goat, Cheese, Pizza. It's a really fun game. Also, a game of exploding kittens. We play this.
They're the same people who made Throw Burrito.
Made a good plug, good vertical integration or horizontal integration. Made by the same people who made Throw Burrito, Exploding
Good
Kittens. And they have multiple, I think you can get like edition
Yeah,
packs.
the imploding kittens.
Yes.
Yeah.
All different kinds of scientific destruction. Another one of my favorites, and that's because I used to play this game back when I was younger, when I was a wee lad, was a game called Sorry. And so we have this Sorry. The interesting fact about playing the game Sorry, so much anger comes out in this, and very little apologies, like true apologies. It's usually people are happy to inflict the other thing. So the sorry, yeah, is more like a sarcastic, mocking tone. Fun story from when I was a child, when I was very, very young. My dad played this with my older brother and my older sister. And my dad had gone through the cards. If you played Sorry before, you know that they have numbers on them. They tell you what to do. And my dad had gone through the cards and arranged them in an order so that my sister drew a backwards 4 on all of them. Owen, you love playing Sorry? So do we. So any of the games you guys like playing, please put them in the comment section. You can also put prayer requests in there.
Other games?
Other games that you love. Another game is Battleship. Have you seen that?
I have.
Battleship.
You played it.
This box has been through some battles, it seems.
Uh,
Battleship. And this is a classic game also from when I was younger. They had
for
it.
some reason, this part's upside down.
all the boxes have been upside down when I picked them up. So it's not like I'm reading a prompt on the back because they're all
No, the back of the box.
the box is upside down. So,
It's good.
but Battleship, it's a good game. If you have two people, if you have more than two people, it's not as fun. But if you have two people, it's a good
We
game.
could do 4 team.
You could do 4. You could probably do
Any multiple
even,
of 2.
Yeah, or 3. You could have 2 versus. Really, the options are as limitless as your imagination. And then finally, one of the ones we have is Settlers of Catan. I think that's how you pronounce Catan, Catan.
Not bad.
Hayden. Again.
Hey there, Megan and
Linda.
Linda and Melanie and families and EJ with his newly minted bald head that looks much like me. And EJ, I found your sister's name is either Mia or Maya. So Mia or Maya, I have to figure out how that's pronounced, but it's good to have you here with us. But Settlers of Catan is another game that we play, and it's more of a strategy game. It takes a lot of time to play it. If you haven't played for a while, we learned this from another family at church, from the Nordmans. If you haven't played in a while, then you go back to it. Sometimes it takes a little while to learn how to do the game. So, with all these games, the reason I'm showing all these games and how they tie in my opinion, and this is where we might have some disagreement, how they tie into the gospel story from the Gospel of Luke and the disciples' walk on the road to Emmaus shh.
Oliver.
Shh. We talked about this. Yeah, you go. All right.
Thank you.
So, the way that it ties in my opinion, is whenever we play any of these games as a family, which we do often, when we play these games, yes, there's a winner, but I'm going to let you, and then on the other side of that conversely, there's losers. I don't know why I looked at you when I said that. There are losers.
I do.
But there's a winner and there are losers. But I'm going to let all the kids in on a little parent and grandparent and any pastor or whatever kind of title you want to give it, secret. Even though there are winners and losers, when we play these games, we don't really play them for the winning and the losing. We actually just play them and like to play them with our families because it means we get to spend time with our families. And even though many times in our family when we spend time playing games like this, there can be some arguing, some loosely veiled threats, stuff like that.
Good fun.
Some regret of why we started playing the game. It's still spending time together, and it's still fun, and there's a lot of laughter and memories over this. So, the points of the game, even though kind of it is to win, it's really not to win. It's the point of the game is to be able to spend time together, and that's as a family, yes, or friends or whoever is getting together. There's all kinds of other games. There's games you can play online with friends, on your phones, on your devices. There's games you can play. We play a game a lot that we play on our PS4 that we also use our devices for as well. That's a great game. Please don't it's not a real burrito. Don't eat that. So, just like the gospel story, in the gospel story, the disciples, they just want to be with Jesus. They want to spend time with Jesus. And what we see in that gospel story is Jesus visits them, and he does spend time with them. He does spend time with them. And the bigger lesson is, even when Jesus is not right there with them, they're still talking about him. They're still thinking about him. And so even though he's away from them, he's still there with them in their hearts. So, that's the message this morning. We hope you have fun playing games with family members. And if you want to play a game over FaceTime with me, you just send a message. We'll try to figure something out. We could do Pictionary or charades. I think charades,
Charades.
hangmao,
Yep, that's how I say it.
hangman, there's a lot of different things. So, I'm not a linguist. I don't know how this stuff works. But now is the time when we, Nordman's Oakley's Patrick, the Right Reverend Patrick. It's great to have you there. Now is the time we're going to open it up to prayers and prayer requests. We'll say a prayer. I'm going to kind of do what I did last week, so put your prayer requests in there. But for the children's sermon at Christ Evangelical Lutheran Church, when I do the children's sermon, when we're together, typically what I do is I say a line that's kind of simple, and the kids repeat it. They echo the prayer. Echo. And I learned that from someone who was watching Miss Linda Vowles, who is like the best and my mentor, and somebody who I'm always striving to be as good as in children's sermons. And so she would have her prayers echoed back, and I was like, I love that. And Grace, that's where Grace got her introduction to children's sermons, was from Mrs. Vowles at Holy Trinity Lutheran Church in Akron, Ohio. And she'd go up, and that was Grace's first experience with children's sermons. So, all right, so I will say a line. Please repeat it at home. However, also please put prayer requests, if you have any, in the comments section, and I will make sure to review this video after it's done, and I'll offer another prayer with more specific prayers. Okay? So, let us pray. No, you don't have to recite.
Well, no, I was saying.
I know, but don't, because it's confusing, because we're going to do it.
So there's a thing going on?
I don't know if you knew that.
Don't
That's
interrupt.
actually, we're not just sitting here like we
There's
normally
people
do.
watching.
We do this every morning, I know. We just stare at that wall and we talk. But this is actually, there are people watching this at this point. So,
Alright, let's try it.
okay, let's try again. Wait, that was repeating you.
3,
Okay.
2, 1.
Dear God,
Dear
Dear
God,
God,
we give you thanks
we
we
give
give
you
you
thanks
thanks
for the people in our lives
for the people in our lives
who we get to spend time with.
who we get to spend time with.
Whether we're laughing,
Whether we're laughing,
crying,
crying,
maybe arguing,
maybe arguing,
we are blessed
we
we are blessed
to be able to spend time with them.
to be
to be
able
able
to
to spend time with them.
We ask
We ask
that you be with all people,
that you be with all people,
especially those
especially those
who don't have family
who don't have family
near them.
near them.
Help us
Help us
to share your love
to share your love
with them
with them
and all people.
and all people.
We love you.
We love you.
Amen.
Amen.
All right. So I don't know what the rest of you have planned for the day. A tradition I have gotten, kind of practice I have started taking. Grace, we all have our traditions. Grace's tradition is she's going to go back to sleep. Hey, Bobby, hey, young family. Grace is going to go back to sleep.
It's gonna be so
I'm going to make some pancakes. Not bacon pancakes, but just making pancakes. And I'll do that. Ben will probably play some kind of game. And then we'll try to make the most of this somewhat rainy day. Hopefully the weather clears up a little bit and you can have time, whether it's outside or inside, spending time with your family, all the while knowing that when you're doing that, that you're also always able to spend time with God, that He is there with you. And so from our family to yours, God's blessings, God loves you, and go now in peace.